Look, you don't need fancy products or a Whole Foods budget to eat healthy. I'll prove it. One of the biggest myths I hear all the time is this: eating keto is too expensive. So in today's video, I'm here to break that myth wide open. Not only am I going to show you how simple low-carb eating can actually save you money, but if you stick around to the end, I'll break down the actual cost of a full day of low-carb meals with all the macros for a woman with a goal weight of about 145 pounds, all for under $8. And trust me, you will be stuffed. Hi, I'm Ryan. I am a keto coach and a certified advocate through the Metabolic Terrain Institute of Health. I am passionate about helping men and women suffering from metabolic issues reclaim their health and their vitality through lifestyle changes. Now listen, I know that there are food deserts. I live in one. I have to drive a few miles to get to a quality grocery store. And I know families who genuinely struggle with easy access to fresh produce and quality food. So I don't want to diminish this reality for many Americans. But if you have the means to travel to a grocery store, which the majority of the US does, you can quite easily find the basics that support health on a keto or low-carb lifestyle. You don't need specialty stores. You don't need fancy ingredients. There's this misconception that keto means special foods or expensive replacements. But the truth is actually about going back to basics. Recently, I decided to cut out all the fluff, not really to save money, but to reduce inflammation. So no more low-carb breads, no more keto treats, no more $9 jars of seed oil-free mayo. And I discovered along the way just how much money I was saving. All that stuff adds up fast. And I've stopped snacking and I've started focusing on one thing: fueling myself with real whole foods, especially early in the day. And what happened? My grocery bill dropped drastically. Keeping it real, I love food. I love to cook. I even wanted to be a chef at one point. But now my health comes first. And that's why I focus on eating the way humans are actually built to eat. Real anti-inflammatory, species-appropriate foods that fuel my body and not fight it. So we have a Bengal cat, and she is the perfect example of instinctive eating. She's around here somewhere. Come. Say hi. Say hi to the people. How you doing there, Ziggy? She eats a raw chicken diet and has zero interest in processed human food. And somehow she just knows what her body needs. But we humans, we've gotten so far from that. We'll eat anything. For example, did you know that the cellulose in shredded cheese is actually made from wood pulp or cotton? Yeah, that's what the manufacturers are putting in our food. So let's bring it back to the purpose of eating: nourishment. That's it. Everything else is a distraction. Now, here's what people aren't talking about enough. Junk food might look cheap, but it comes with a long list of hidden costs. In the short term, it makes you hungrier. It messes with your blood sugar and it spikes your insulin. It leads to cravings, crashes, constant snacking. And even the dollar menu adds up when you're eating more often. Do they still have the dollar menu? I'm not even sure. But long term, you're spending money on pain meds for migraines or joint pain because of inflammation. You're spending it on doctor's visits, ER trips, and blood sugar medications like metformin. And then you've got to get new clothes because your old ones no longer fit. None of that is cheap. And fast food, it's not even cheap anymore. A combo meal is like $10 to $15. And if you do that for 5 days a week, you've spent more than you would have on a full week of groceries. And worst of all, you're still hungry. Processed food doesn't satisfy your body. It just keeps you coming back for more. But nutrient-dense food, on the other hand, it fills you up. It keeps you stable. Next time you're in a Walmart, look around at the carts. They're filled with cereal, soda, snack packs, cookies, you name it. And it feels like you're feeding your family, but it doesn't go far and it doesn't nourish anyone. Now, if you compare that to ground beef, eggs, chicken, butter, some frozen veggies. It may not sound glamorous, but it works. It nourishes, it satisfies, and it helps your body heal. People look at ground beef and say it's expensive, but let's think cost per nutrient, not cost per item. Ground beef is going to give you iron, protein, B vitamins, zinc, healthy fats. It's filling. Try eating a half-pound burger and still feeling hungry. Now compare that to a bag of Doritos. Same price or more, but you'll eat the whole thing and still be unsatisfied. That's the shift, cost per value. So don't get caught up in the Pinterest perfect keto recipes. You don't need 7 ingredients and 2 different kinds of almond flour. You want to keep it simple. Ground beef bowls, eggs and bacon, chicken and cabbage or broccoli, burgers without the bun. And when you're full, you're not craving all the snacks all day long. You're not obsessing over food. You're just living. And I'll admit, I still like a little something sweet after dinner, but my go-to is yogurt and berries. You could do full-fat Greek yogurt with frozen berries. It's simple, it's affordable, and it hits the spot. So now that we've talked about the why, let's get into the how. So here's what a full day of affordable, nourishing eating can actually look like. So here is a full day of eating for someone who wants to maintain or drop to about 145 to 165 pounds. I'll also tell you the cost. I sourced all of the foods I mentioned from the Walmart that's closest to me. So for breakfast, we're having 5 eggs, 2 strips of bacon, half a tablespoon of butter, and half an avocado. For lunch, you're having a 6-ounce patty, 1 ounce of cheese, a serving of broccoli, and half a tablespoon of butter. Dinner, you're having 2 chicken drumsticks, half a head of cabbage cooked in a tablespoon of butter. And then for dessert, you're having about 6 ounces of a Greek yogurt with half a cup of frozen blueberries. So the cost of all of that is just about $7.72. The macros, 1,896 calories, 135 grams of fat, 38 grams of net carbs, 139 grams of protein. That is an incredibly satisfying, nutrient-packed day of food. You're going to be full, you will be nourished, and your body is going to thank you. You don't need more ingredients. You don't need fancy gadgets. You just need to fuel yourself in the right way. So if you're ready to ditch the expensive keto hype and get back to basics, this is your sign. Start simple, stay full, and feel better. I'll see you in the next video.